I feel like we're all on a spiritual journey with Bill Maher as he finds himself in his sunset years, not wanting to be sunset into a mass grave that the communists are about to put him in. Bill Maher saying that he's not going to live in a communist America. I've read the quotes. I've seen the platforms. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. These people are actual communists.
Communism and socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again,
they want actual communism, and Bill Maher just made that point again by saying that he's totally willing to vote for J.D. Vance in 2028. And on his most recent episode, called this out one more time. Kind of beautiful way.
Sometimes, you know, you have to keep up. Who freed the slaves? Republicans, Lincoln. Democrats were the racist party back then. But then JFK got elected and it switched. The DSA itself has switched, even 5 years ago. It shunned communists. That changed. Things change. Now the coalition within the DSA, called the Marxist Unity Group, is in ascendance. And I must take them at their word when their words include, our commitment is to the long-term struggle for a fully liberated, classless society, in a word, communism. What do they have to do? Tweet out, elect more communists? Oh yeah, Sia Weaver did that. Yes. Good, I'm glad you're shocked. People gotta realize this is going on.
I love it when his audience, that is, of course, he films in the Hollywood Hills, in LA, in Brentwood. I love when his audience gasps. I can't believe it, right? When Bill Maher actually just like exposes these things to them. There's like the Joe Rogan effect, right? Where like Joe Rogan just talks about immigration and election theft, aliens, illegal aliens.
Yes, my vote is in play. I'm not voting for anyone who thinks the wrong side won the Cold War or cheers for the Intifada like it's the World Cup. It's so ironic from the people who obsess about colonization. You know what's being colonized now? The Democratic Party.
You can tell he's got an axe to grind and he's pissed. And he says, of course, he's not going to support Trump, but he is willing to say, I'm not going communist.
Well, Donald Trump has told 1 trillion lies, but when he says the Democratic Socialists of America are actually communist, that's not one of them. And it's not hard to prove it, just by quoting the DSA and their candidates. J.D. Vance was on the show, and I told him that if the Democratic Party keeps going in the direction of the DSA, my vote was in play. And all I heard all vacation was, oh my God, you're a Republican now. No, that's not what I said. I said in play. And here's why. Because not a week goes by where I don't read about some newly chosen, exciting new face in the Democratic Party. And then when that face opens its mouth, the Communist Manifesto or some other crazy comes out. Again, let's just read the quotes. The DSA platform says you work as much as you are able and no more than needed. If that was any closer to Karl Marx's dictum, from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs, they'd be sued for plagiarism. New York Mayor Mondani once tweeted Karl Marx's words exactly. They're not trying to hide it. Their most popular influencer, Hassan Piker, thinks communism is so groovy. He laments the fall of the two of the most murderous regimes in history, the Soviet Union and Chairman Mao's China. Mondani's aide, his top aide, Sia Weaver, said, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize property, it's over, and impoverish the white middle class. What? That's a goal? You know you're supposed to scare people into voting for you, right? One of the new soon-to-be Democratic Congresspeople, Darlisia Chevalier, supports seizing all properties from landlords and said, seize the means of production. Mondani has said the end goal is seizing the means of production. I think they want to seize the means of production. Now, maybe you missed that in school or missed school altogether, but that's communism.
The guy's going on a spiritual journey, man. It's outside of what you couldn't qualify as standard politics. I think it's happening to a lot of Democrats right now. And I believe that what's happening here with Bill Maher is more acute because he's seen it all and he's seen these movements come and go. And he understands that this is existential. You know, guys like James Carville, John Fetterman, a bunch of other Democrats, some that I know, some that whisper to me are like, we don't have a party. Like if it's run by a bunch of socialists, we don't have a party. And they fear, because they are actually Democrats and they want to vote blue and they want their party to win, they fear that this is the way to like actually end their party. This is the way to destroy it and make it so that they'll never win an election again. And I think some of it is like less of having a good heart. Like I'm going to be a Republican, and more of like it's survival. If these people take it over, then there's no way you're going to win a national election, right? I think there's some of that. Bill Maher calling out Fauci for selling actual lies about COVID origin said in hearing. And just what an absolute barn burner over this weekend.
Releasing the diary, it is the most embarrassing public releasing of anything since Anthony Weiner put out a picture of his... his dick next to a baby, and like he's just so susceptible to flattery. And for the people who say, you know, Trump, you know, he just lives by people kissing his ass. I got some of the Fauci. This is from Fauci's diary. Fauci, the nurses went absolutely wild to see me. They were squealing and laughing and clapping. It was something to behold. Fauci, many print profiles and features on me. Ridiculous, too many to count. Fauci, I'm such a valued spokesperson and a good communicator. This kind of stuff is dangerous because he was having his ass kissed by one side in the debate, and I think he made decisions based on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, no lies detected. Now, meanwhile, Dr. Fauci looks like absolute ass and behaved like an ass in front of Congress this past week, refusing to testify even though he has a pardon. I think that should be technically illegal. And Bill Maher is calling him out for his lies. I mean, this is like, you're really like cruising right near the edge here, as Bill Maher is saying that Dr. Fauci is a liar and those who supported him were facilitating the greatest mass psychosis in human history.
Caught in actual lies. He was telling people, and the big issue to me is the origin of this, which is very important. How did it start? And he was telling people up front when it first began, it was from the wet markets. It could not, that's a conspiracy theory. If you say it escaped from the lab. And he knew better because we have him in his diary telling us what he was saying to other scientists who were saying, no, absolutely. And the real issue here is the gain of function research. Yeah. And again, if we weren't so partisan, we could just say, gain of function research, Obama told him not to do it. I would always have said, don't do it. But it's a viable debate. It's a reasonable debate. Should we soup up something that's bad, this bacteria, to study it? Maybe if it got out, it would be even worse. I think that's what did happen. We could have had that debate in a rational way. We didn't want to do that. Because why? Because we make everything about race. And this is one of the repercussions in this. You couldn't say it escaped from the lab because that was the racist point of view somehow. That the entire Asian continent would have been somehow complicit in this because it escaped from the... It was ridiculous, but that is where they went. You were racist if you said this escaped from a lab. I think we've morphed from a place where we want to, you know, obviously not be prejudiced against anybody to where people of color can never do any wrong. Something couldn't have escaped from an Asian lab. It was ridiculous.
Dude's stealing my bit. I can't believe it. Just listening to these clips, like I just can't believe it. I can't believe this is real. But it is, and it's a wild time to be alive and doing this. It's encouraging, frankly. You know, we'll see what happens in 2028. They're going to do two paths. They're not going to take the middle road. they're going to do two paths. They're going to go like full extremist communist, or they're going to try and do some type of John Ossoff, who's Jewish, right? Like that's practically illegal in the Democrat Party these days. They're going to do like some type of, extreme centrist path. I think probably the smart thing would be like Joe Manchin, John Ossoff, like extreme centrist path, obviously. But they're not going to do that, are they? No, we know what's going to happen. That's going to be Kamala AOC. Timestamp this. It'll age really well. Bill Maher's not going to be part of it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people dog it on the right now because we have power. And, things go up and down. Stuff you agree with, stuff you don't. But it's the left who really are facing a nightmare, true existential nightmare scenario. It's going to be fun to watch it all play out. Bill Maher, out, baby. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.